Have you ever had a light bulb moment that's caused some of the following symptoms? Your boss gets raised blood pressure, apologies aunt, heartburn in your partner. I have, and the reason was telling my boss I was using online dating sites at work. Let me explain. The Research Exchange all started with the Wilson Research Exchange. It's a space in Warwick for researchers to explore new research connections and build interdisciplinary relationships. It's located in the library, and it has fast developed to researcher footfall singular within the university, with researchers across all disciplines using it. The Research Exchange has also built relationships with and between researchers through its online space. Using social media, blogging and web content, we now have an online network of nearly 1,500 researchers who regularly engage in online events, discussions and collaborations. Because of the Research Exchange, we have had a chance to explore working collaboratively on interdisciplinary research. We know that interdisciplinary research is challenging and rewarding and a reality of the research landscape because external funders invest in it and institutions strategize on it. But for many researchers, what I just said is at odds with their experience of the research landscape. For postgraduate researchers, the opportunities, encouragement or motivation to work in collaboration can be more limited. We found that many PhD students describe their research apprenticeship as lonely and isolated. For early career researchers, they often found it difficult to stay connected with the research community post-PhD. They wanted to retain a Warwick community, but found it hard to identify and would welcome ways to find potential collaborators within Warwick itself. And even for established researchers, there are problems. Interdisciplinary research could take them to the edge of their research field, forcing them to seek new research connections within Warwick. Established researchers could connect well within their departments and within their established networks, but connecting within Warwick was more frustrating. So where does online dating come into it? I realised that the issues researchers described sounded similar to the ones that online dating sites are trying to solve. Issues of isolation, making connections and forming new relationships. So we looked at the functionality there, and out of that emerged Research Match. Research Match is a matching service based on a light keyword profile. The profile gathers information on collaboration interests, research fields, methodologies and techniques. Those seeking collaborators can search and browse, and if they submit their own profile, they get automatic match lists based on their keywords. So how does Research Match differ to those other commercial profile sites? Research Match is not about showcasing research, it's about matching researchers. It's Warwick specific and helps with embryonic connections, and we also offer a mediated matching service, brokering connections for Warwick researchers. Also unique to Research Match is the thesaurus. In the pilot, researchers use natural language to describe their collaborative interests and research. We then analysed language and created a thesaurus of 2,500 terms and growing. There is now interest in its wider application within Warwick. We piloted the Research Match for 6 months, and in that time 600 researchers voluntarily submitted their profiles. Research staff who had been sceptical about previous developments and scientists who were less engaged in early interventions surprised us with their uptake and interest in the pilot. But let's get behind the numbers. Networks have formed. Researchers working on game theory and previously unknown to each other are now actively collaborating, and an interdisciplinary environmental network has emerged and is now working on a research proposal. Individuals have had interesting outcomes too. A PhD student who is studying eco-poetry was contacted by an eco-poet, and this is added to her doctoral research. And a researcher in the Institute of Education was unable to translate a text from Serbo-Croat. His research has stalled, so he went on to Research Match and found someone there to do the translation with him. And researchers are visible outside Warwick. Members of a Warwick network on drinking studies were found through Research Match by a similar network based in America. They are now collaborating using Research Exchange conferencing facilities, although possibly not over drink, which is a shame. And there have been some unforeseen but welcome uses. We found that during the dissertation stage of the master's courses, that master's students were making contact with PhD students for assistance through Research Match, mainly methodological, in particular quantitative and qualitative data analysis, but this had a positive impact on the student experience. So what of the future? We have secured funding for Research Match, we've trademarked it, and we have support from the University Registrar. The next stage is to bring Research Match out of a pilot and develop it into a robust and stable service for Warwick. We will develop the functionality and the engagement with the service. We will also link Research Match back into the physical opportunities presented by the Research Exchange. We intend to analyse the researchers on Research Match to invite them to collaborate in sandpits. These are interdisciplinary events looking to solve a pre-agreed research problem and linked to funding awards. So what has Research Match taught me about innovation? Firstly, to innovate, we need to listen attentively to needs. We need to look for solutions to what we hear, and it's worth looking to those in the everyday for inspiration. And thirdly, we should never be derailed by the question, why is the library doing that? And if we end with where we started with online dating, here's a possible testimonial. Although we were disciplines apart, too far we both thought for a relationship to work, we started talking and thinking about each other's research. At some point, our marriage of ideas turned into a research proposal. Thank you, Research Match.